We are going to be having 5 presentations in the series, and this will be anchored by our managers. I will run through the topics. The first one we'll be having this morning is how to protect your company from cyber attack. This will be handled by Sunday Kolawole, our head information technology. Then we have customer service, an effective strategy to retain customers in a changing world. Business is not as usual again. The way we are doing customer service before the pandemic, before the lockdown, will not be the same way that will be applicable post-pandemic era. This will be handled by the head of our service management department, Bolanle Duyilemi. Then we are going to be talking about future of work. What can you do to upgrade your skills to remain relevant? What can you do to upgrade your skills to remain relevant? The way we have, the way of work is obviously and totally different. So we need to work with this difference. We need to stand up to the challenges that is occurring in the way of work right now. This will be handled by our head human resources and admin, Jumoke Oshi. Then tomorrow, we're going to be having the 3 presentations today. Tomorrow, we'll be starting with adapting technology trends for businesses through innovations. Adapting technology trends for businesses through innovation. This will be handled by our head transmission network, Yemi Oladele. And last but not the least, tomorrow we'll be having adapting to connectivity change across industries post-COVID-19. After the lockdown, after the pandemic, what happens? What are the changes that we need to do within our business to ensure that we bounce back and to work with the current situation of things? So question and answers will be expected after each presentation. Please kindly type your questions in the Q&A section while the presentation is going on. So without much ado, do join me in welcoming Sunday for his presentation on how to protect your company, but then not only your company, your homes, your bank accounts. I'm sure everybody is happy. Everybody is eager to learn about that. Your families, and all your online activities. How can I protect them? All your online activities and engagement. How to protect them from cyber attack. So join me in welcoming Sunday Kolawole. Sunday, please go ahead. You have the floor.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm here to present to you a slide which talks about cybersecurity, why and how to protect your business from cyber attack. What we'll be hearing this morning, we'll be dwelling on these topics. I just want to enlighten us on what cybersecurity and security awareness is. I have a dictionary meaning and a professional meaning. So for people who are in-house, who really need to understand the layman meaning, it says that the state of being protected against criminal and unauthorized use of electronic data. So what the two definitely talks about is having to protect yourself against cyber threats, cyber attacks from people who wants to take advantage of you not being able to, as in your understanding of security, to talk about the security awareness, on which is defined here as the knowledge and attitude an individual or an organization possesses regarding the protection of physical and especially information asset of that organization. So why is it so much that awareness is becoming the order of the day now? And a lot of people look at this these days is that security is just for the IT guys. No, it's not an IT thing now. Security cuts across our life now. We probably use the social media, we use different kind of handles for our businesses personally, and in our homes also we use maybe gadgets, your TV is hooked up on a network and stuff. All these things are opportunities for cyber attackers to make use of. So why we need to now be enlightened in this area is because technology that we put in place today cannot really protect us from being compromised. We put infrastructures. It's not doesn't just stop at that. It stops at the learning, and then the learning is what enlightens the users of technology to know what is right to do at any point in time. On my slide, you find out that it talks about technology alone cannot protect you from being compromised. Attackers goes where security is the weakest. And most of the time, you are as strong as your own weakest link. The weakest link in your, probably your network, probably in whatever business setup that you have, the people that are within that organization, which is your users, your staffs, and every other person within. So they are the ones that needs to be protected and wants to be enlightened to know how to be the first and primary line of defense whenever an attacker is trying to get in through them. One thing that needs for me to say is that attackers no longer so much focus effort on attacking the IT infrastructures these days. They want to come to a vulnerability point and then probably launch their exploit it and then launch their attack on your IT infrastructures. So you cannot afford to be the weakest link. So the awareness we are talking about now is for not for just for the business, it's for the employee, the employer, the our children at home, because they all consume this network, and then you need to make sure that each of them have an understanding of what to click and not, what not to click. When you look at what we have now in this present time, which is the COVID-19 era, it's an era that was not expected and planned for. This was less than 2 months. What happened in the last 2 months has never happened in the history of the world. Things that happen like that, it has been like not as what it is. It has been something of different variants. But now you now find out that this has shaping the way, even how we work within our environment. And now you find out that we need to start working from home and taking lessons from home. Our children at home are probably being taught from online. And then you find out that physically we need to be distancing ourselves from each other. And all these we still need to accommodate the business. And when you now want to look at this thing, vis-a-vis making revenue, making profits, you find out that a lot needs to be done in order for a staff or an employee to work conveniently from home. And then when this COVID-19 has led us to this route, and as this is leading us to this route, we find out that hackers also are being affected by this. We find out a lot of hackers have so much time these days to be able to do a lot of things, and they want to go and propagate a lot of exploits. People try to make very fast cash, and it's the right time for them. That's why here I have it as the hackers are another bad sector has created new opportunities. This difficult time is proving right for cyber attackers, and their activities has tremendously stepped up. And in the last few weeks, you find out that if you go to a lot of sites and maybe probably do some research, you find that the activities have stepped up and nothing less than like 5 times what it is these days. You find out you start getting different kind of messages for you to click on links and stuff like that. So all these things we need to be aware of in order to safeguard ourselves during this period and even after. And on the brighter side of things, you find out that this pandemic also has already creating a lot of opportunities for people to learn new skills. The people that will live in the future are people who actually need to have a good knowledge of the internet. You have to be digital to be employable, because when you want to talk about some other levels of IT, talking of AIs and every other aspect, if you are not properly learned in this as in, if you don't have the proper skills to harness to display your skills and talents online, an employee will not want to take you over. Now, what do I want to say about this particular slide is that the impact of cyber security on our businesses and environments. Probably you see me listing some types of malwares and malware threats. Don't really need to dwell in on whatever, as in, just have an understanding of what is this phishing, spear phishing, middleman trader. These are different variants of malwares which are probably used to launch attacks at businesses, and probably you can use to get into, compromise you, and exploit the vulnerabilities that they find around. And then you want to see that it directly affects your business. Your reputation is at stake if you are being compromised directly by all these listed malwares. There are other variants of viruses, of worms, and some other things, but I just had to list just a few that are very active in this space. So you experience financial losses, you experience blackmails, ransom, and terrorism, loss of customers, and sanctions from regulatory. And then some of these things have led to death. You find out, you read something from the newspapers and on the internet where people's Facebook have been compromised and then probably being scammed and probably died. So these are some of the things that is an awareness. We need it both in the office and at home. And also, if you look at what I have here is the cyber threats and mitigations. What I'm actually saying here is that the diagram just shows the different types of attacks you could have on your confidentiality, on your integrity, availability, social engineering, and everything. And one of the things I want to dwell in way more, is the social engineering aspect, whereas it's trying to convince you as a human being to maybe divulge some very personal, very important information. A lot of us don't even know. Well, some call, they call it phishing, they call you through the phone and start trying to talk to you to, convince you to do some things. Some you get as text messages, some you get as emails. But all in all, you need to be aware of all these things and then probably, try to make sure that you don't fall prey for this, because it's on the high rise during this particular COVID era. And the mitigations are all what you see here. For organizations, we talk about the endpoint security, email security, perimeter firewall, and stuff. But one of the key things is this human firewall, which we are trying to do as we speak here. If you ask, you say, what is human firewall again? Human firewall is for us majorly to be aware. Once we are aware, it helps all the technical controls we put in the back end to control all these things, all these attacks getting to the back end. It's the firewall that is in the front, which is the first person that really matters. All the other technical controls will take care of their job, but we need you as an IT people, as an IT person, to be able to be aware that what you do really matters. The link you click goes a long way, and by your actions, it can really go a long way to damage the reputation of your organization. So personally, I want to advise us about some of the needs for us to be cyber secure now and after, and how we can be secure. Some other people won't take advantage of us. And it talks about our personal ethics. It's really focused on personal ethics because that's the purpose of this presentation. I want, I have it, be aware of fake information, only trust information from verified official sources. Then also verify that the sender is who they claim to be. These are just simple tips. You must just know that from the sources you are receiving information, that's actually the source. Verify the sender, verify links in email before you click on them. Be wary of unknown messages urging you to open attachment or click a link. then you should be skeptical. That skeptical is one of the things that I want you to really imbibe. Before you do anything, just have a second thought. Is it right? There's no sin about that. But if you now feel that, okay, you have gone through your, at least some of the tips that you know that you are supposed to do, then you can now go ahead and click. And then the next step now says, if there is a suspicious activity, immediately there's nothing stopping you reporting it to the IT department. I've had people within my network that whenever they see things, they either call me or maybe send it, and then probably we'll look at it. Some will even go as far as coming out, I saw this, is it something? And then a lot of them, I find out that probably are not genuine things, but people just always want to get to you. Some beat whatever controls that you set and still get to the end user. But the awareness we give here will go a long way to help you take caution. Then take security training seriously and stay up to date. When in doubt, please ask questions. These are some of the things. You can't know everything. You need to just ask questions maybe from your supervisor, from the IT department, your management, and whatsoever. This will help you in probably taking the right step in preventing an attack within your environment. Now, these are just a safety tips, that's security safety tips. It's just talking about like a four-step way of trying to check, okay, am I doing the right thing? And I have it as a verify, the hover, the sniff test, then you click. And just verify, just to know, okay, what kind of link is this? And is it not just an email? Is it a social message or an SMS? And then you now probably, definitely when a message comes, or a link comes, there are ways by which you can just hover on them. That's when you put your cursor on the link. It shows you the source of that particular either email, either message or whatsoever. You can always find out that, and then if from a genuine source, you can open, and then you can do a sniff test and see maybe is this site recognizable to you. These are just some things, tips that you just naturally you will know that. Does it feel familiar? Did I register for something? There are some mails that will come. It will tell you to unsubscribe from that particular email. Meanwhile, what they are selling is that unsubscribe. If you click on that unsubscribe, then that means you have probably activated a threat or maybe something that is trying to exploit your environment. So when you see things like that, you know you've not registered, please there is no sin in just deleting it from your email, because emails are probably used to propagate at least 70 to 80% of malware attacks these days. And then it comes, at least statistics has it like about 70 to 80% of the attacks that happens are actually through the users of emails. And then when you click on them, you find out that this attack launches. So when you have passed all these four steps, then you can click on the email, and then you can move forward to do what you want to do. So lastly, what I just want to first say, with all these things that I've tried to establish based on this awareness, I just want to tell you that while you are working from home, there are different ways by which you can make your environment friendlier. You can collaborate together, you can communicate easily, and then probably have meetings and some other things. There are a lot of 1,000 tools you can use out there, but I just pick just a few ones just for you to ensure that your communication is you can establish your communication. I have the Zoom, the WebEx, the GoToMeeting. You have the Google Doc, the emails. You have the G Suite. You can use for probably collaboration also. And the Microsoft solution is a good solution, and it has proven to work well. And then we have the Amazon email services and everything. So you can depend on these solutions to probably enhance your communications within your environment and make work from home easier for you.
no longer business as usual. While we have so much time due to the lockdown, the hackers also have so much time on their hands, even than before, to do their own job. And we know that their job does not benefit any other, it doesn't benefit anyone except them. So we need to be security conscious. And he also mentioned the fact that we need to be skeptical of every mails that we see. Now, it's not enough for you to just click on every link that you see and open it because it has come to your inbox. You need to assess it. Are you expecting a mail from this person? Do you even know this name? Is there a link in it? Is this link, am I expecting it? So we need to be wary. And of course, he also touched on schools. Almost everybody uses internet in these days. The children, they know we usually tell them, we drive them from internet usage, but right now we push them to it because they do their assignments, even exams through online services now. So each and every one of us also need to be the IT manager in our own homes, assessing what our children, the sites they are going to, the sites our spouses are going to, and making them aware of the need to be cautious of the sites they go to, of the sites that they open, and of the links that they open. There's one of the slides that Sunday showed that was showing a man that was holding his hand on his head. May we not get to that level. You can imagine if attackers should attack your data, attack your finances, your account, it should be a major issue. So please, let's ensure that we get training. He mentioned that too, that you need to also train yourself. There are quite a number of ways we can do that online now. Google have so many of such. So let's train ourselves, and most importantly, be security alert and be alert to cyber hackers and cyber.
Zoom platform is just one of the numerous platforms. But if I want to answer this question, Zoom is very well a very secure platform, and well rated by Gartner in terms of teleconference and video conferencing. So, we've been making use of this for a while, and they've been around the industry for a long time, and they have proven to have lived up to the name. And presently, I've not had any attack on the particular OEM that we are talking about, which is Zoom. So it's a very much more secured software. Video conferencing solution that we need to use. Telegram is a more or less a new. They are new in the market and not so much known. But what I can talk about also is the Teams, Microsoft Teams, the GoToMeeting, the WebEx. These are premium platforms that are known to provide very, very reliable service. So Zoom just seems to take the top of the pack, and it's well recommended, highly recommended to use. And then the user interface is friendly. So, well, I would not want to say there is anything like the best password, but yeah, I want to talk about password complexity. What it means is that a combination of different characters that is not easily revealable to a hacker. Number one, the length of your password matters. Normally, we came from the era of having a four-digit to 6-digit to 8. Then these days, it's even advised that you have more than 10 characters in your password length. So a mixture of a special character, a number, capital letters, and small letters, and everything is okay. Don't use most of the time things that are personal to you, your date of birth, your children's name, and stuff. So try to combine characters that is not easily that will not be easily decrypted by a hacker, because they go through a lot of sessions to make sure that they compromise you. So the more you make it difficult for them, the more they will not find it easy to attack you. So I would recommend that your password length at least a minimum of 8. If you can do more, better. Then a mixture of special characters and numbers, and then it's maybe other letters to do the trick. What I would say is this: there are a whole lot of applications that does that, but you need to personally look at and evaluate based on maybe track records, based on the algorithms they use, and based on the technology they use in doing this. Majorly, it's always advisable for anybody that has an email platform to also have what you call an anti-spam. An anti-spam is maybe a guard for most of these malicious emails. Like in a network, if you send a mail that has a malicious, it doesn't even get through. It's deleted and it identifies it. There are checks it does on it, and then based on these checks, it knows that this is a mail that wants to compromise this network, and then it discards it. So there are a whole lot of applications you can use. If you can get in touch, because we just engage you and probably just give you some advice on which one that can suit your purpose. But yes, there are applications that can do that for you. I'm talking based on an email setup, but if you want to talk of working from home, like for example, the users within a network also has an endpoint system, used to call antivirus, enabled on their system. So these days there is even more intelligent. There is a center, an admin center that an IT administrator can easily push policies to endpoints wherever they are in the world. So long you are connected to the internet, you can be guarded. So at any point in time, wherever you are in the world working and you want to be compromised, it can send a notification to the admin that so person is, probably being compromised, and then probably maybe you put a flash disk in your system and it contains some malicious. So it from your endpoint itself, it tries to block it off, then send a notification to the admin, and then necessary response can be carried out, and the system can be disinfected. So you both have from the endpoint, that's your client system, and then you have at the core where your email is as the anti-spam. Well, what I would say about that is if you have an option not to connect to a free Wi-Fi, please don't. But if it's necessary that you need to connect to a free Wi-Fi, then I think the reputation of the provider of that particular service counts a lot. You can't just get somewhere and probably just see an open Wi-Fi, just connect to it without knowing who really is providing that service. So I think the reputation of the provider, it's very important. If let's say it's an E3 and they offer a free Wi-Fi to some level, I want to believe at least it should be safe, because I know things like this would have been provisioned from probably their IT department, and then it's for customers. But if you enter a coffee shop and you find out that you just see an open Wi-Fi and just log into it, I want to make use of it. That's where these what they call man in the middle attack happens. It routes your connection through its own application, where you can see all your passwords, your codes, your transactions, and everything. So that's why, rather than saying, "Oh, make use of free Wi-Fi," if you have the choice not to make use of free Wi-Fi, I think it's the best one for you to use it. But if you don't, make sure that the reputation of the provider of that service is known to you, and then before you connect to them.
So I'll just read this last one that is like an advice. It's from Afiz Ilufoye, and he's saying unsolicited emails can still get past the security infrastructure. So we need to rely on awareness on the weakest link, which is the people. So this goes back to Sunday's presentation. You need to carry everybody along. You need to let even your family know that they need to be online security conscious. So thank you, Sunday, and thank you everybody for the question and answer session.